Here's the 7.4 LS374 removed, and this is the last chip that needs to be swapped out other than this one PIA, but I'm not sure we're going to actually have to do that. Fortunately, I've got spare parts in case we do. These came in from Pinball Life. I've got a couple of PIAs and their sockets here, and a couple of the 374s. And 8 amp fuses, so I think we're good to go for testing. Alright, there's that first channel working with the new 74374. So this thing is ready to go into the back box for testing. Alright. So we're trying to install this main board in the HighSpeed machine and turn it on, see if anything happens. So far I've got power hooked up. We're still missing a fuse, but I think this is for the solenoid drivers. But to start off with, I just want to see if we have life. So I think we'll also hook up the soundboard. I don't know if I should go under or over the power, but for now we'll just put it on the top. I think that looks good. Soundboard has power, and we'll hook up the door switches, which are down here. So we should have display power, and we'll hook the display up just for giggles.
That might be a little too optimistic, but we'll do it anyway. So this will test one of the subsystems we haven't tried before.
All right, so we got sound. We should have a display, maybe. Power looks good. I know this thing takes 5 volts, plus and minus 110. And so that's speaker output, and I think that's the volume control. So I'm going to fire this up. Hopefully we don't have flames here. I'm not going insane. The fuse popped out of the main supply, which I think is due to the cold. So I'm going to plug this in again. I'm not sure if the machine's on or not, but we'll see. I guess that's on. We've got GIs on. We got a 0 on the board here. That's good. I'm going to hit the CPU reset switch. That shouldn't have worked, but it did. So that'll at least give us some feedback on the test. Oh, look at that. A burnt out digit. That's probably nothing major. Okay, I think we still need to hit the reset to get this thing to do its thing. Oh yeah, it's intermittent. I think I saw it flash there. Go check back on the video later. Okay. Music TST. Display test. It's a nice display. Except for the bits that don't work. It's mostly going one module out, one digit out. But that's pretty minor. Yeah, now that I look at it, this thing's been reworked a lot. But the fact that it's just one digit out, I don't think it's an outgassing issue. That's just probably a bad connection or a bad driver. This one might be more of a problem. That might just be out. But given that that's just a score display, I think those can be replaced with LEDs and probably as a singleton. We'll advance the test. Not bad. Switch level. So that, I could probably do that right now. Why don't I do that? Because I think that's safe. Because that's all TTL leveled inputs. And that's, even if those things are screwed up, that's not going to mess anything up. Switch matrix is I really don't like it when they do this sort of stuff. Pass through on the IDC connectors. And that obviously was fixed already once upon a time. Okie dokie. Here we go.
So once there's batteries in here, we won't have to hit the CPU reset.
All lamp, single lamp, coil test, switch levels. There we go. Flipper lane, out lane. Flipper lane. Oh, that's really weird. No switches on the slingshots. Target arrow 2, look at all these. I like all these targets. I think this game could be pretty fun. Three spinners, cool. First time I've really looked at this game. Nice. Well, I guess you can have two balls stuck in there. This is really cool. This is kind of F-14-esque. Looks to me like. I'm guessing you can lock the three balls for multi-ball in these side habit trails. Ooh. You hear that? There's more glass falling down.
Many unbearable hours later.
I'm going to start work on the high-speed machine again. As you saw at the end of the last little section of the video, was testing out the machine in the garage, and everything looked like it was working okay, except for the display, and I haven't tested the solenoids yet. Still have to order parts for the out-hole kicker, I think, and the knocker need new solenoids. So today I took delivery of this Wolffpac LED replacement display. So I'm going to do a bit of an unboxing here. So I ordered the Wolffpac because it is basically $100 US cheaper than the Pinball Life. I think it's called X-Pin or something. Displays that come pre-built, which are around like $300 or something. This delivered was $180 US, but I have to build the thing, which is kind of a pain, but I think for the amount of time it's going to take me to build it, it's probably worth it. And once this is built, I can put them in the machine and test the solenoids, make sure that everything I think is working, and then I'll go ahead and order those 2 replacement solenoids and replacement flippers, because the flippers that are in there are like everything's pretty loose, and the end of stroke switches are just burnt out, which I guess can happen on these old machines when you have the full power going through the end of stroke switches. Yeah, anyway, it's been a while, but I think the temperature's finally warming up. It'll be above 0, I guess, so I can get it back out in the garage and do more testing, and hopefully building up this display board is not going to take too long. I might do a time lapse on that just for shits and giggles. Anyway, I'm gonna put the camera closer here so you can see just what we're dealing with. All right, so this is the display system, Wolffpac Technologies. I think they're out of Hong Kong. Give you a bit of a parts list. Anyway, let's go look at this stuff. Through-hole resistors and connectors and pin headers. And these are the replacement displays. That's kind of interesting. I didn't realize they came as singles like this, although I should have, but that makes sense. And we have the chips. These are HCO4s and I guess different types. So that's all the chips in here. These are the actual display boards. So that's the credit display, and comes with the masks for the digits. And I guess that's the numeric display with the mask. Alpha display, mask. Or actually, it was 2 numerics and 2 alphas. So that's cool. And this is the main display board. Get out of the box. So not much to this, just a lot of soldering. These boards actually seem reasonably thick, which is kind of nice. Will make them a bit more robust. But in reality, not much to this. I did not see the capacitors. Maybe they're in here as well. Interesting. They're supposed to be capacitors. Well, I'm confuzzled. Maybe they're stuck in here somewhere that I didn't see. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've got tons of capacitors. We'll make it work. All right, there we are. Chips and resistors on board. Next, it's the capacitors. And for this, unfortunately, I'm going to have to use surface mount because it didn't give me the right parts. So this is going to be a little bit fiddly. 8 capacitors. So here's my capacitors, surface mount, 0805, 4. One more than I need, but these things are cheap, like borscht. Okay, tweezers. All right, well, we're back in the cold garage again. And we're going to replace these vacuum fluorescent displays with the Wolffpac ones. So before we begin, just going to make sure that stuff is still working. All right, anyway, here's the display test. This guy's still burnt out. This guy's still outgassed. And since I built the Wolffpac displays, we're just going to assume that those ones work. There's no real way to test those outside the game. I'll pop one of the Wolffpac ones in. Before I do this, actually, I'm going to go take the power off. You can see this display, it's kind of tipping forward. It looks like it was held on back there with duct tape. That should have been double stick tape or something more appropriate, I think, but it doesn't matter now. See what's going on. That looks way better. Music test. Display test. All right, well, if we're brave, we can actually do the coil test, which is next on the list, because I think that's all that needs to be replaced. Next are a couple of coils, and I think this machine is, well, it'll be in playable state anyway. All right, here we are in the garage again, freezing. It's time to take the plunge and test the solenoids. So first off, I'm going to put a 2.5 amp slow blow. I can read this here. Into power supply, so that ought to give us our solenoid power. And it's not a 25 amp, so that's actually a low enough value fuse that it should protect some of the stuff that would otherwise blow up. And I'm going to be optimistic and hook up the special solenoids. Similarly down here, the out-hole kicker solenoid is just gone. So I'm going to tape that up. And I think that's the only two solenoids we need to worry about. So, all right, I'll open the door, turn it on. Left jet. I thought this one was working. Hopefully there's not stuff fried.